I am not the OOP. OOP is you/stinka furniture. Brother's friend wanted a place to store, a couple of wardrobes, and a bed, while he moved back with his parents until the COVID crisis is over. My house is now packed full with urine-stinky furniture. What can I legally do with it? Country NSW Australia. Originally posted to r/legal advice. Trigger warning. Exploitation, things covered in shit, possible hoarding. Mood spoiler. Disgusting, you can smell this post. Bo Are You One, posted by you/BestofRedditor. Original post June 21, 2021. I get on okay with my brother, and his friend hadn't shown any hint of being an idiot over the last 15 years, so I went along with this. I'll call my brother's friend Doug. My brother phoned me a while back and asked if I could do a favor for Doug, and he put Doug on. And Doug told me he's got to move back in with his parents because he lacks work like all of us and needs a place to store, a couple of wardrobes full of clothes, and a bed for about 6 months until things open up again. My brother told Doug I had a spare room with not much in it, which is true, and I was happy to help, so I said sure, bring it over. The spare room is more than big enough for a couple of wardrobes and a bed. Through miscommunications and a shift change at work, I couldn't be there when Doug moved out of his old place and put his stuff in the spare room, so I dropped my spare key to my brother and he supervised Doug. On Friday afternoon, I came back home to a house packed full of what looks like every possession Doug has ever owned, packed into every room of my house, and almost all of it is urine-stained and covered in mouse droppings. A couple of wardrobes full of clothes and a bed has turned into 2 wardrobes full of mouse droppings, clothes, and boxes, a dozen garbage bags of more clothes, 6 chairs and a kitchen table, a bedside table, a dozen boxes of books, 2 bookcases, boxes of kitchen implements, half a dozen wall hangings and paintings, a house door covered in stickers, a credenza, a single bed and a double bed. Both of them reek of urine and bloke. 4 small chests of drawers, 3 kitchen cupboards. A pair of card tables, and 2 refrigerators with food in the freezers and plugged into my power, and more bags of bedclothes, electronics, just about everything to fill a regular small house. Everything in the house stinks, and I can't do this. I don't mean it just has a scent to it, it stinks badly. I can taste the stink in my mouth even when I'm out of the house. With the heater on now, it's winter, it's nauseating. I phoned Doug and told him he has to come and get this all out, and he can't. He's already 600 km away on his parents' property and has no money left. I told him I'm going to dump the lot of it if he doesn't come get it, and he told me I'd made a binding verbal agreement with him, and if I damaged anything of his, he'd come down on me like a ton of bricks with legal action. 10 minutes after getting off the phone with him, his dad phoned and made more threats the same. I can't reach any of the shelving in my spare room. I can't use half my couch or my art desk. I can only just reach my own clothing in my bedroom drawers, and I can only use 1 chair in my kitchen. I've contacted my brother, and he made a stupid shrugging noise and said he thought that's what I agreed on. What am I legally allowed to do with all this? I agreed to a couple of wardrobes and a bed. I did not agree to a house full of stuff. I want to at least get the worst of it out of the house immediately, but it's been raining, and we have a week more rain forecast. I can't afford to put it in storage. I'm slowly draining my savings the last few months as work has been cut back due to COVID. I don't have a garage or shed. I have no undercover place to put any of this. Best I could do was borrow a tarp and wrap up the worst wardrobes and cling wrap the beds, but that's only a minor help as it all smells bad. I did a house plan drawing. Sorry, it's rubbish. On the left is my normal house, TV is the lounge, S spare room, D desk room, B bedroom, and K kitchen. On the right is the same with all of Doug's stuff added in red. https://imgur.com/a/i0ezudz. Relevant comments. B30K. Before you do anything, make sure to take pictures. OOP. Thanks for that good suggestion. Doing it right now. Glitzy cupcake. Not a lawyer, but I'd wager that anyone with this much disgusting shit probably doesn't have the dollar or funds to sue. I'd just dump it if I was you. OOP. Good point. I'm sitting here in this guy's filth in one of the few places I still can, and I'm tempted to do that right now. I have a couple of mates who already offered to help. Glitzy cupcake. I mean, does the guy seem like he's got the ability to back up his claims? OOP. The more I think about it, the more I'd say no. His parents do own a large property way north of here. They'd be the ones who can afford it. Edit, okay, this has gone beyond legal advice and beyond a joke, I think. I just went around taking photos, and Doug has a dried-up used cat litter tray in the bottom of his wardrobe underneath clothing. The bags of clothing have mouse nests in them, and there are cockroaches. I've phoned friends. We're dumping it on the front lawn tonight. It's 11:30 p.m. here, and I'm texting Doug's parents with the photos, and if they want any of it, they'll come get it. I'll deal with the consequences of that later. My sanity and sanitation is worth more. Update: brother's friend wanted a place to store, a couple of wardrobes, and a bed, while he moved back with his parents until the COVID crisis is over. My house was packed with stinky furniture, and it's all okay now. NSW Australia, June 24, 2021, 3 days later. It's all solved. On Monday morning, I sent photos of everything disgusting I could, and of Doug's furniture on the lawn to Doug, and his dad telling them it's beyond foul, and I wouldn't be keeping any of it inside my house. And I'll dump it this week if they don't come get it. 20 minutes later, I got a call from Doug's mother. She asked if it was so bad could I send her some evidence, like photos. I told her I'd already sent them to her son and his dad. She yelled out in the background to one of them. She says she did send photos, then she got off the phone. Half an hour later, she called me back and said they'd be down to pick up Doug's stuff and apologized. She asked if his books were okay. Apart from the mouse gnawing and droppings, yes. I'm not a barbarian. They were outside, but under the eaves. This morning, they turned up from 600 km away. Doug and his dad wanted to begin packing in their Pantech, but Doug's mum wasn't having any of that. They dumped 90% of it at the tip and came back and took just a few things home. Even the food in the freezers was off. His mum apologized and offered to make me good with cash, but she's already solved enough and I declined. She left it open-ended and said if I needed anything fixed to call her. I know I didn't follow legal advice, but this was the equivalent of someone asking you to hold onto a small keychain-sized box for half a year, but instead they sneakily cover you in 50 kilos of feces you're not allowed to wash off until you get a lawyer and fill out all the right paperwork and wait a month. I just couldn't do it. I got lucky. I've had words with my brother and changed the locks to my place too. He'd opened up and let Doug and Doug's mates in, then left the key behind with him. He didn't know how bad it was either. My brother is an idiot and Doug is a 32-year-old baby, and hopefully I'm a little wiser. This is a repost sub I. Drop your verdict in the comments. Wait, what?